And Alfred thought all the other Batcave Christmases were weird. This is Batman Returns on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at this!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at this!
No more hangers!
It stinks.
Hangers!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to a very special Christmas episode of Stinker Madness. Yes, Batman Returns has an element of Christmas. We'll decide if it's a Christmas movie at the end of this episode. With me are always Sam and Jackie. How was coming out of the Forbidden Zone this week that we were in? You know, because that's where we go in between episodes, right?
The Forbidden Zone, yes.
Yeah. So how was your trip, Sam?
To the Forbidden Zone?
No, back! Nobody wants to. It's always a shitty trip to the Forbidden Zone.
A horseshit trip to Palm Springs. What it was.
Need that reference? Watch Malibu Express.
Malibu Express, yes. Very old episode. Yeah, it was fine.
Good. Jax, how's the spirit of Christmas catching you?
Well, it was going pretty good, and I was decorating,
Uh-huh.
and then I reached over for a little cup of sparkles to continue my decorating.
And it was a penguin with a rocket on its fucking back?
No.
Oh, okay. Whew.
But it does have to do with my back. It went, and yelled at me, and then I immediately fell to the ground because I'm old, and I'm like, oh, fuck my back. So that was my journey into the Neverland. Is a lot of painkillers this week.
Neverland.
And
You mean Forbidden Zone?
Forbidden Zone.
Okay.
And, just kind of laying around watching Christmas movies and staring at the tree that wasn't decorated. And all these fucking boxes everywhere. It looks like we live in a trash heap.
Yeah, it's weird living in today's modern society, as it were, because there's boxes everywhere. And I thought maybe it was just us because we live in an Amazon Prime society. Let's face it, folks. I mean, you can either think that Amazon is the devil or they're the best or whatever, but we are sustained by them now at this point. And I thought it was just Jackie and I that just had cardboard everywhere during the holidays. But I talked to like 3 people this week, and they're like, I can't even move in my house. There's so much cardboard everywhere. I can't get rid of it.
You can recycle it.
No, you can't, because you fill up your recycle bin with cardboard.
Oh, no, you can't do that. There's not enough room in there.
There's not enough
You gotta
room.
flatten all of it and take it to the garage.
To the garage?
Yeah.
And then your garage, you can't park in your garage because it's filled with cardboard.
Well, that's the bricks.
Or you just put it down to catch all the leaks that come out of your car that you don't maintain well enough.
There's too much cardboard for that. You
Yeah,
can't
well.
park on top of that. Card go through the ceiling.
Just like the Batmobile, kind of. Sam, you have brought us, instead of Cemetery Man,
Instead
which
of Cemetery
everybody
Man.
made.
Everyone now can add this to the list of lies. Ongoing list of lies. But at least I did say at the beginning, or last week, that if I had to pick a Christmas movie, and there's only 3 episodes before Christmas, so
Right.
I needed to pick a Christmas movie.
Uh-huh.
And this is as close as I could come. It's as Christmassy as Die Hard. I would say more.
Let's table that till the end.
We'll table that to the end.
Yeah, because, we got to decide.
But instead, I've brought us Batman Returns from 1992.
Right.
Which was actually released during the summer, not
Okay.
at Christmas.
Which is odd.
It was the major block, the June block.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No.
I went opening weekend with my grandpa and my brother and my uncle. Mm-hmm. We all thought it sucked.
Yeah, you were very disappointed.
We was like walking out of the theater scratching our heads.
Right?
And then we went to Domino's and was like, man, this Domino's pizza sure is delicious compared to Batman Returns.
And
I
it's
don't,
not.
I don't like Domino's pizza very much. And I didn't back then either.
Jackie, what was your viewing experience of Batman Returns?
I saw this when it first came out, and I hated the penguin guy because he was very drooly, that black ink drool, which I didn't understand.
We're going to get into that as well.
But that was a major turnoff for me when I first watched this movie, and I was like, this is fucking dumb, and that's all that I could focus on. Seeing it the second time, it was like, okay, I'm going to let that go because I know that.
Because you don't have a choice. We have to do this episode.
Well, yeah. Well, and I have to let it go because if I don't, I just like zone in on that, and I miss a lot of other things. And so this time around, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna really look around this time, and not just focus on that. And I'm gonna say that the poodle was very courageous in this movie. He was very good, probably the best actor.
Yes, probably.
And the monkey was pretty awesome.
Okay.
And yep, and there were a lot of penguins. I don't remember there being that many penguins.
My experience is somewhat like Sam's, except for maybe applied maybe tenfold, because I love 1989's Batman so fucking much.
Yeah.
You know, I was 10 years old to date basically all of us. And it hit all the right buttons for me. I had the entire collection of Batman collectible cards, trading cards for Batman the movie, which if you think is like, that was a thing, trading cards for a movie? Yeah, I had every single one. I knew every single line of dialogue, and in fact, I knew Batman so fucking well, when I was in junior high, I recited it word for word between 3 periods of class. So when Batman Returns comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, super fucking pumped. It's going to be the sequel to my favorite movie of all time. And then this happened, and I was done. Like, I think I hit puberty right here. I was done with childish things. I put them away, and I was like, you know what? I want to fucking drive a Camaro, and I want to get a mullet, and I want to talk to hot ladies. Yeah. I am done with toys, and
I need Burt Reynolds now.
Yeah, I want to be Burt Reynolds. Like, I just sprouted chest hair everywhere.
Where?
And then that lasted for about 2 weeks, and I went back to nerdy stuff. So
they started doing some good writing in Spider-Man right after this.
Right,
this
exactly.
shit pile.
Yeah.
Marvel decided to, seize the day,
right,
as it were.
They pulled me back in.
Yeah. I will give you a similar review to the original Batman. I actually had two theater going experiences of my young life that I compare other movies to, like what I felt at the end of the movie in the theater, like, wow, this is an awesome day at the theater, is Rocky IV and the first Batman are like the gold standard for child me in the theater.
I'm going to add one more onto your list there. Yeah, I guess you were borderline adult, but Independence Day was a huge fucking theater going experience. I remember for you.
Yeah. Well, that was, to be honest though, like I liked it a lot more than everything. That was a good year at the theater. There was a bunch of bullshit. Eraser with Schwoz, which sucked in hindsight.
Yeah.
So did The Rock. But I saw all those that summer. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, action summer.
But that was more teen thing. Like this was formative.
Right.
Like the only thing in between Batman and Independence Day was probably Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Actually, I went to see Encino Man 3 times in the theater, and we talked about that. So this isn't Encino Man's kind of the gold crest for young adult me, I guess. But child me, it's the original Batman was the best movie I'd ever seen in the theater.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, the thing is like we were talking about this movie before we got going, is everybody focuses on Batman and Robin. And to a lesser degree, Batman Forever, because it's the appearance, it's the debut of Bat Nipples and that sort of stuff. And Jim Carrey's being Jim Carrey, but it's the writing's terrible, and Tommy Lee Jones is an awful Two-Face, and the concept of Two-Face is awful. But everybody focuses on the Joel Schumacher ones, and nobody discusses Batman Returns. And I'm going to tell you why.
Well,
after this, I looked up on IMDb. This has got a 7 user rating.
Well, I'm going to go farther than that, and that's what the research, or boring bullshit as you call it, has led me to, is that this has a fucking 80 on Rotten Tomatoes.
80 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 68 Metacritic score, which is the score that was applied at that time by actual people that are paid by the newspaper, such as Roger Ebert.
Wonderful reviews.
Do you think, I want to toss my theory out here, and maybe it might conflict with your boring bullshit, so
sure.
Stop me if I'm
well, we can work
crazy.
It in.
I don't know. Is it just because everybody's like, well, it's a Tim Burton movie, it's got to be good, right? Am I wrong? I must be the one that's wrong because it's a Tim Burton movie. It can't stink.
It can't stink, I guess. I mean, the visual element is still strong no matter what, right?
Sure, it's, Edward Scissorhands 2, basically.
Yeah, it's fairly. I was really keeping an eye on how well it was shot, and it was shot really well, very, very well. I just don't understand why the reviewers, the way that they spoke about it, they're like, "Well, it's very dark and violent." And I'm like,
It's campy as shit.
"What are you talking about? Show that same person Dark Knight." And they're going to be like, well, that's nothing happens in Batman Returns.
I meant it's dark because the lights are off.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I meant by dark.
Violence?
No, it's as campy as 1967's Batman.
And in terms of violence, I thought this was some of the worst fight choreography I've seen in any movie.
Absolutely.
And it's not just that it's bad, it is few and far between.
Yeah.
Batman is sitting in chairs. most of the time you see Batman, he's just sitting down.
I don't know. I thought I'd watch some Tube.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. Let me try that again. I thought I'd watch some Tube.
Do that, he just sort of looks at the camera like, is that on?
Yeah, right.
Is that on right now? Beyond the sort of mega reviews, it made all the cash. Third highest grossing of the year. It made $266 million domestically against an $80 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure why, because I walked out of that theater scratching my head.
Yeah, I mean, you go home and tell everybody you're the authority on Batman, and they're like, so what'd you think about Batman? You're going to be like, don't watch it. It sucked.
It wasn't very good.
Yeah, but people just go.
The hype machine was huge. I had those, that stupid, remember the McDonald's cups? I had those till I was like 19 because I got so many of them.
Nice.
Because I was so excited about it. It was like just beating my parents to death. Like, we gotta go back and get more Batman mugs. It's good. They're good for the house. It's not just that we get sodas, but this is they're collectible cups, and
we're gonna be millionaires.
We're gonna save money on buying glasses in the future, and just all this bullshit, right? And so we had like a fucking 100 of the things. And I was like, when I moved out of my dad's, I was like, take these fucking Batman cups with you.
No, those are yours, buddy.
We're not going to keep them. What the fuck do I want? I never wanted these in the first place. And they finally started cracking apart when I was like 19, 20, something like that. But the hype behind this was kind of incredible, the marketing that they put behind this thing. But it was nominated for 2 Academy Awards.
Yeah. What?
Costumes and special effects, which I would have gone. I guess they didn't. They just still did art direction. I think if you were going to do anything, it should have been art direction.
It should have been
not
art
special
direction,
effects.
and maybe production design, but
they didn't have that then.
Yeah, I guess production design's all lumping everything all together.
Well, they do production design now in lieu of art direction.
Right. Which is a combination of art direction, set design,
Yes.
and lighting, I believe.
The only person that got nominated for the Raspberry was DeVito. And what I'm going to say right now, it's not just that he's the only person that did good. He's the only person that didn't blow ass.
Right.
Everybody else blows ass.
I mean, look, as the Doctor says when he creates the Joker in the first one, look what I have to work with.
Yeah.
I know that movie so well. It's not Danny DeVito's fault. He is put something in front of him and he's like, yeah, I can do that. And he's the only person on the planet that could do that.
He makes me wonder if there's just nothing he can't do.
Yeah.
Because no one else could do what they were given to work with, and he did.
No.
Everybody else blows it.
Yeah, it's a referendum on how bad the character in this movie sucks. Not that the Penguin sucks, but the Penguin in this movie sucks. They're like, oh, well, then Danny DeVito sucks. No, you are incorrect, sir.
And it goes back to what you just said. Do we have to like it because it's a Tim Burton movie?
No.
You don't.
But I do want to ask one question, though, about the Penguin.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not familiar with the comic books, right?
And you don't really have to be.
But it's my understanding that he's quite the gentleman.
Yeah.
In the comic books, that he's not gross. He's a penguin man who, smokes out of a...
He's not even a penguin man, Jackie. He's just a short guy.
Yeah.
With a pointy nose. That's it. He doesn't have penguin hands. He just is a mobster. He's a mob boss. And yes, you're absolutely right. He's like the old timey top hat wearing type guy, monocle, and lives on a train car that's fancy. That type of guy.
Right. So he's supposed to be like this ultimate charming gentleman that's
I
kind of
wouldn't
a
say
diabolical.
charming, but charismatic.
Charismatic, yeah. And I don't understand if that's my view on it, and maybe I'm wrong, why is it that every time I see a penguin in a Batman movie, they're gross?
When did you ever see another penguin in a Batman movie?
The original one.
Oh, you mean
Where they have the shark repellent?
Adam West?
He's not gross in that. He's
No.
exactly like the comic. He's just like a guy who goes, "Meh, Batman.
Batman, I'll get you, Batman. Brr.
Right. So then why did they make him gross for this one?
I have a lot of questions about the origin and why. I'm with you, dude. I don't understand some of the decisions here at all. And I don't want to. I think we should table that as well until let's save it for when we introduce the character of the Penguin in the movie, which I guess is the first scene. But go ahead, Sam. Let's wrap up your stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, when we first started watching, we were seeing the names come over. We see Uzlan. We talked about being the sort of caretaker of DC after after he held on after Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing 2 and all that. Right. But you were like, John Peters, that piece of shit. What was he from? He was in fact from A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born, that's right.
And he did produced the recent A Star Is Born too.
Oh,
so
okay.
He got all the way through there. Also was a producer on Color Purple.
Mm.
So he's done some good movies and some bad movies, and I guess people think this one's good. So
yeah, my memory is struck, and somebody's going to have to go back and listen. I'm talking to you, Jack B, to the Star Is Born episode because I never want to touch anything to do with that again, and find out. We threw John Peters under the bus because he did something horrible.
I don't think he did something horrible.
I know he did something horrible. So go back. Somebody do us a favor. Go back and listen to that and write us in and be like, "Hey, we're doing your job for you because you hate that movie."
It might just be your mind is like he put Barbara Streisand in a movie
that I had to watch. Yeah.
She's like, that piece of human shit.
Lock him up.
Yeah. Sort of the last bit of interestingness is that it was the same team that was going to spin off the Catwoman movie, because that was a big part of the marketing for this was Catwoman's here and Catwoman this, Catwoman that. Mm-hmm. Pretty much after this, Burton and Keaton bail, but Pfeiffer wasn't going to do the Batman sequel because she was getting her own movie.
Oh.
Eventually, when it started to not materialize, was like, fuck this, I'm out. So Ashley Judd shows up. She's around for a while.
Okay, yeah.
She's out.
Yeah.
And it is the Halle Berry Catwoman that was born during this production that stayed in development hell, but eventually birthed Catwoman.
Her origin in Batman Returns is basically the same origin as Halle Berry's Catwoman, minus Egyptian magic,
I guess.
But really, she dies by her boss being a butthole, and a bunch of cats come up and lick her face, and then she's resurrected, and now is Catwoman. That's about the same fucking origin story, really. So I'm not very surprised by that. But what were you guys thinking in both scenario?
Not sure. I really liked the year one. She doesn't actually have any cat powers. She's just a vigilante.
Right.
And a cat burglar.
I think the only time I've ever liked, besides Eartha Kitt, obviously, the only Catwoman I've ever liked outside of, Detective Comics is the Arkham Asylum franchise's Catwoman is really strong. I didn't really care for Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. The whole origin story there, or the character motivation, what she's doing, what she looks like, and I just was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
It was anything that happened in the third one was difficult after the crest that the second. The shadow cast by the Dark Knight is very tall and very dark.
Big shoes.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Michelle Pfeiffer is probably my favorite Catwoman.
That's surprising considering the film you just watched.
Well, yeah, but then I'm thinking about like Halle Berry. No,
definitely
no.
Absolutely.
Anne Hathaway doesn't really fit the role.
Yeah, and she just looked awkward.
And then the rest of them, I just can't remember who did them.
Eartha Kitt
from obviously. the Fast Talkie Batman show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
And I think that if they would have made the origin story with Michelle Pfeiffer, she would have embodied more of that character. She acts more seductive and feline.
Oh boy.
Feline, horny, frisky.
Hot stuff.
It is the unsexiest thing I've ever seen Michelle Pfeiffer do, which I would then say puts her below everybody else because you're making Michelle Pfeiffer unsexy. While she's doing the sexy, I became uncircumcised.
Your penis grew extra skin and tried to hide itself.
Yeah, uncircumcised. So I don't even know. Like, it just shriveled up back into my chest. Like, ugh! Like, I did not think it was hot. So it bumps her down even further. She cannot do Catwoman.
Well, it is also the fault of the filmmaking team at large, too. But,
obviously.
Yeah, you watch her in, like, Stardust, where she's supposed to be old and grody, and you're like, I would still bang her.
What did we just see her in where she comes out and it's like, Ant-Man and the Wasp. She's Janet Van Dyne. And Jack and I both looked over at each other like, what?
Yeah,
she's
no.
like fucking 80, right? Or I don't know how old she is.
However old she is.
She's pretty up there, but she's standing next to Kirk Douglas or Michael Douglas, who is like, that's a good-looking old guy, you know,
Sure.
because he's of the Douglas clan. We knew he was going to be a handsome old guy, and you're like, oh, Michelle Pfeiffer might be hotter than your actual wife, Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
and you're married to Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yep.
So, what happened in my pants is definitely a sign of
not
poor
sexy.
quality. Yeah.
Like, yep, this is how to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly how I would do it.
All right. Well,
Lick my arm, give myself a little cat bath.
Meow meow.
you also
Meow, meow, meow.
screamed for Sylvester Stallone to show you his balls.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the sexy in the screen, Jackie, I don't know if you're the authority.
Sure I am.
Just imagine if she would have directed Emmanuel.
I haven't seen
It would
it.
have been Manuel, and it would have just been balls. Like, what is going on with those? Why are they still on the screen?
Yeah, it would just be endless teabagging without, like, nothing would happen more than teabagging. Like, that's where it ends. Like, why does this person just keep putting balls on foreheads?
Yeah.
And that's the movie.
Hot.
All right, Sam, are you
That's
wrapped
pretty
up?
much the size. Well, I guess where we, I think, are disappointed as viewers that went to see this in the theater is that we wanted this Batman.
We wanted a Batman
We wanted
movie.
a Batman movie, and we didn't get one. And it was Tim Burton that was the one that was in charge of that.
Uh-huh.
He saw the script by Sam Hamm, who wrote the first one, and was like, "This is too comic-y. It's not doing the right things for women's libs." So he got the guy that wrote Heathers, Daniel Waters, to write a social satire instead, because he wanted to talk about how the real villains aren't wearing masks and all that, and that.
Okay, we're going to get into that, too.
Sure, but
I think he might have swung and missed on this one.
Time and place, know your audience. We came to see a Batman movie,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Like,
exactly.
there's a lot of time for you to make your statements, but you're being heavy-handed when you put it in the Batman
Could we
movie.
also have Batman
Yeah.
in the Batman movie, too, though? I mean, that would be nice. All right. You guys ready?
Sure.
Pronto.
Pronto?
All right, cool. I'll go fast. Open on Cobblepot Manor. Back in the day, Mrs. Cobblepot, she's giving birth to basically Rosemary's Baby. It's Paul Rubens is Mr. Cobblepot.
And
Pee-wee.
the woman that plays Simone in Pee-wee's Big Adventure is the wife.
Yeah, right.
Reunited on screen.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
He goes in there because she spit the kid out, and he looks at it off screen and screams, "Oh my God, we've created a monster!" He's just got lobster boy hands, which is a very common, or it's not common, but it does happen.
Does happen.
There's an
I
actual
guess.
surgery process to separate those hands that's been around since, I believe, the 60s.
Sure.
I don't think you fucking freak out and check your baby like it's a fucking demon baby. What have we done?
They were really drunk.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
It
that's-
ate a cat.
It did,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, he ate a cat.
All right. Well, maybe you would eat a cat if your fucking parents locked you in a fucking cage because you got lobster boy hands. So fucking what? You know, maybe you got a little bit of temper, and maybe they're not even feeding him because they think he's a fucking monster. And you're like, I need that cat, and you eat the cat.
And they're drunk.
And they're drunk.
They had martinis in almost every scene. And they're only in like 3 scenes.
It's my understanding that if you are filthy, stinking rich, that you drink all the time.
Why
you
the
know
fuck
what?
wouldn't you?
We're poor and we drink all the time. So, Just not martinis. We drink Colt
Gasoline.
45.
I drink gasoline.
Toilet wine.
I just put my face into a bucket of paint.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what poor people do.
Rubber cement.
Trump's America.
You know, Paul Rubens was originally going to be the Penguin?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he pulled on his wiener in a public place.
Yeah.
Cameo.
In a porn theater, I believe, is what they're called. And apparently you can't jack off inside of one.
You're supposed to, I guess.
You're not supposed to.
What are you doing there,
How
then?
do you get arrested if you pull your wiener out then?
You don't.
You don't pull your wiener out or you don't get arrested?
I don't think he got arrested.
I thought he did.
Well, I think he just got caught. It was like Fred Willard, just humiliated by it. But then they seized his... Later,
They seized
way
his
after
wiener?
this, they seized
They put
his
some handcuffs on his
wiener.
balls and were like, we're taking you to the big house.
They heard that he had, like, somebody made a rumor about kiddie porn, so they seized his entire estate, and he had a bunch of pornos, and that, like, reflected negatively. But he was actually collecting a lot of vintage erotica. Like, he was the only person that still had it. It was, like, actually a collection. So he's been really raked over the coals.
Yeah, absolutely he has. Seriously, unjustly. The guy is fucking superstar talent. I love Paul Rubens. Yeah. Anyways, so on Christmas Day, they walk him out to the bridge in the park and send him to Willow Ufgood, basically. They chuck him in the river, Moses style.
Hit some martinis afterwards.
So you thirsty?
Yeah, I'm always thirsty.
I brought a flask while we murder our baby. So he floats down, crib and all, or baby carriage and all, down into the sewer, past bats, and eventually lands on Penguin Shore because the zoo, the Gotham City Zoo, doesn't do a very good job of maintaining their animals, and they have bred to ludicrous amounts, and there's no room inside of the zoo anymore for them, so they just stick them down in the sewer. That's the only thing I can figure out.
If I am to understand what's going on here by the visuals, it's that the sewer, the zoo, the storm drain, and the park's water system is just all the same.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Why are there penguins there, though?
At
Because the zoo closed down.
Oh, okay.
And they escaped through the sewer.
What?
It's like a Madagascar thing. They were going to escape the zoo.
Okay, all right.
And they were like, okay, everybody into the sewers.
And then they're like, it's nice down here?
It smells a little bit.
Why are there penguins in the sewer? Of all of these scenarios you guys have come up with, the penguins don't live in the sewer.
These ones do.
Okay, they're mutant penguins. Let's go with that.
Well, you don't
They're
see any
just
Lincoln logs
smelly.
floating around either. You know, the water's pretty clear where they're at, so I'm not completely convinced that they're in the sewer.
Might just be the storm drain.
Yeah, because I'm not completely convinced that they're in the sewer because there's no Lincoln logs. The water is fairly clear. It's not dirty looking down there.
The storm drain.
Lincoln logs. Well, here's the problem is that when a poop, its magnificent journey that starts in the toilet and ends in the sewer, that shit's been like throwing a cat in a dryer, right? That's not going to stay together.
It doesn't. It just turns into gross.
Unless they're the ones that hurt, like the softballs that won't break up or whatever. There's probably a few of those in there. But for the most part, it's just brown water and it's yucky.
Yeah, but the water's not yucky.
No, maybe it's an abandoned sewer line or something. It's a sewer line because it is a giant tunnel that he goes through. And in fact, Batman can fucking drive a boat through it. It's the sewer, guys.
Or storm drain.
No, the storm drains aren't that big under
Yes, they
cities. Yeah, they are. They're called sewers. Anyways, there's not penguins living down there. Penguins don't live under cities. Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
They're at the zoo.
They're not. They're under the zoo.
Yeah, under the zoo penguin thing. The only way that a man can be raised by penguins under the zoo is if you have a place where you can't see what the penguins are doing. Because then you'll never ask, like, are those penguins raising a man?
It seems to me.
It seems to me like they've got a human child in there, and they're teaching it their ways.
They're playing Mama Bird, Baby Bird.
He's eating raw fish.
And then spitting it into
Yeah.
the baby's mouth.
He's a strong swimmer.
All right, yeah, he gets raised by penguins. Here's where I think we dive into what Jackie's talking about. Why is he this way? Because Mowgli's not called Wolf Guy.
No.
Somebody made the decision, like, oh, let's make the Penguin's origin story that he's a penguin.
Yeah.
And nobody said, let's not do that, because it's, what, you're going to have him be raised by penguins under the zoo of the city? Great idea, Craig. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. God damn it.
There's a deleted scene that goes back in time, and it shows his parents getting really drunk at a New Year's party and having a three-way with an emperor penguin.
Uh-huh.
So I guess he's the real dad.
Yeah, right. Ugh. Yeah, no, I don't get he's a penguin.
He's a penguin.
He's a penguin.
Eats raw fish. He has gut. Penguins don't have nasty, pointy teeth.
Or, like, here's something that maybe Jackie picked up on. Maybe everybody picked up on this. He's got green blood.
Penguins don't have green blood.
They do not. He's got a grody mouth that sometimes spits out black, but when he bleeds out of his mouth, and there's shots where it's on his shirt, and it is green tinted like Kool-Aid.
It's like ink.
Like ichor.
Yeah.
Like he's a fucking orc.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
No idea.
Is he a man penguin?
He's a penguin, man.
I don't know.
Maybe he got, like, I don't know, radiation poisoning from being in the sewer.
Maybe.
That's what they say, is that what Christopher Walken's character's toxic waste made him the way it was.
So he's mutated.
Yeah. But he's not a penguin because he's got teeth and green blood.
Uh-huh.
But he can live as
And
one.
not wings. He's got hands.
Flippers.
No, he's got 3 fingers. Come on, he's got fucking hands. He can grip onto shit. He's got an opposable thumb.
Yeah.
He's a man.
He's a penguin man.
He's
not even a penguin because they don't have green blood or teeth.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, and I want to know, how do you get that fat as Penguin Man?
Eating a lot of fish.
Yeah.
A lot of that sewer fish or storm drain fish, as Sam says.
What does it matter? There's not fish in either place.
Yeah.
But there is in the place that you have under the zoo where the penguins can go dispose themselves with their own devices.
You know, here's my problem with this whole scenario. There's people listening right now, oh, that's just the camp. You know, it's a Batman movie. You're taking it too seriously. Here's my fucking rebuttal to that. Again, The Dark fucking Knight. You get used to it, listener. What's the Joker's origin story in that movie?
Doesn't have to have one.
He doesn't have to fucking have one. Why can't the Penguin just show up and take over the mob of Gotham in this fucking movie like he always does?
They just be the penguin.
Just, like, be the Penguin. Why does he have to be a penguin, man?
And why does he have to be gross?
And why does he have to be gross?
You know, it'd be a lot better if he was this handsome, charismatic guy with some weird fingers.
Yeah, or just goes, "Meh." That's
Yeah.
it.
It was
Like that hunk from,
Good.
hunky guy.
The hunky
Vampire
guy.
Diaries.
no, not the Vampire Diaries. No, from Mad Men.
John Hamm. Yeah,
John Hamm as the Penguin.
That
Why
would be.
can't he be a 6'3", 250-pound muscle man with a square jaw? Yeah, I don't know.
I think
Maybe
he-
John Hamm should be Batman instead.
I think because John Hamm can do anything, he would do it. He would do the penguin. He'd just be like, "Hi, I'm John Hamm." Every once in a while, be like, "He's the penguin."
You know what? I buy it.
Yeah, I mean, if you made John Hamm the Penguin, the ladies would like it.
Batman would be like really pissed and jealous. He's just sort of like shoegazing and kicking boxes all day.
Right.
How do I hate the penguin?
I'm going back to the Batcave.
Being Batman sucks when no one wants to make out with you. Everybody wants to make out with John Hamm.
Alfred, pour me a bubble bath.
Yeah, because I mean,
Alfred, where'd you go?
Where's my rubber
He
ducky?
works for John Hamm.
Vicky Vale's over there.
Everybody.
Oh God! All right. So years later, it's Christmas again. It's Christmas time, and the Ice Princess of Gotham is going to light up the tree. I don't know what an ice princess is, but I guess I'm assuming that there was some sort of pageant, and she was chosen to be the Ice Princess of Gotham.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with the pacing of this movie, they probably could have stuck that in there for fun.
What?
The pageant.
Oh yeah, might as well have, right?
Right.
So anyways, she's going to light up the Christmas tree. The mayor's there. Well, he's upstairs meeting with Max Schreck, who is, of course, Christopher Walken. A lot of people don't remember that Christopher Walken was even in this fucking movie.
It's not Amadeus Mozart?
Yeah, right.
What is going on with his head? It's like, Amadeus?
He is awesome looking. He's clearly supposed to be a villain, but like you just look at him and he looks silly.
He does, and this is one of the only times that you see Walken like not be as big as the look that he's wearing.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is. That's
he's
a good way to put it.
very, very subtle. He is not walking all over the place, as it were.
He's, I guess, or I don't even know what he does. Like, he's got a textile factory. I know that, but he's a big money man in Gotham.
Yeah, he's an enterprising businessman.
Yeah.
Business, you don't have to ask.
Yeah, right. Well, he wants the mayor to authorize some project that he's doing, some factory that's going to power Gotham, I guess, but it's not going to be good power.
He's claiming it's a nuclear power plant.
Okay, all right.
But it's not.
Right.
It's going to steal the power instead and then store it somewhere later. And then they couldn't be bothered with an end game on that one
like
at any point ever during the movie.
Well, Enron hadn't happened yet, right? You know.
Well, they were getting cash.
We'll steal all the power and then we'll blackmail you for it. Yeah. Old lady with your fucking air conditioning, die while I laugh at our profits. Fuck Enron. And fuck Max Schreck. I guess. I don't know. Anyways.
No, he's a dick.
The mayor's like, no, I like Bruce Wayne better. So let's hang out some more downstairs.
Yeah. Actually, he just says, we've got too much power already. Shut up.
Yeah, pretty much. So then I want to know, I'm going to ask this now because it's a reoccurring symbol throughout this movie, is this weird cat thing that's all over the Shrek buildings.
Yeah, that's his logo.
And it seems to be a stab at Mickey Mouse.
I don't get that at all, Jackie. That looks more to me like the clock, the mouse clock.
It does. Or the cat clock that looks exact. And the Astro Boy. I mean, there's.
I said mouse.
Felix. Yeah. It looks like Felix a little bit. Yeah, Felix the cat.
I don't see it as Mickey Mouse thing.
No.
Why? Because it's a round head and it's got ears.
Well, I thought maybe they were poking fun at Walt Disney.
No.
And him building an empire, but maybe not. I don't know. I just kind of felt like that was supposed to be significant in some way, like they were jabbing somebody, but it wasn't very clear who they were jabbing.
I would say yes if Max Schreck had a Hall of Presidents. Then that would be definitely...
well, he owns a huge department store.
Well, there's no presidents in there.
Yeah, why is the guy that runs a department store making a nuclear plant?
Yeah, he got his fingers in a lot of things. Somebody told him to diversify, and he was like, I like that word.
You
Done.
just show up in a suit and you can say, business. Business. And then you're like, I'm a businessman. I have to run my business.
All right, so they go downstairs to the tree lighting. And, also Selena Kyle works for him. She's a bumbling buffoon secretary.
She's not a buffoon.
She's a buffoon, dude.
She's smart, but she is introverted.
Okay.
And is trying to find her confidence and her power.
Well, she's bumbling all over the place and barely pouring the coffee. I would consider that bumbling.
Yeah, she doesn't bumble. She's just sort of, she's very skittish.
Yeah, all right, all right. Anyways, so they go down there. Shrek gives his little speech about being awesome, and then the Penguin unleashes his men in a giant Christmas present.
Which, if I saw this coming, I would leap up out of the crowd and be like, that one's for me!
Jackie would pee her pants.
Yeah, because because he was throwing out gifts. Shrek was throwing out gifts. And I would think, oh my God, this is like the mega gift. If I go over there and touch it first, it's mine. So I would start running towards it. And then, some clowns and shit would pop out, and I'd be like, oh, I don't want this.
Yeah, right. I don't want clowns. I don't want murder clowns.
This is not the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I guess I was bad this year, huh, Santa? Murder clowns? God.
What good things can be in a box that big? That's what you gotta wonder.
I would say an elephant, but then what are you going to do with it?
Dinosaur?
Maybe a hippopotamus. I've always wanted a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yeah, those are very ill-tempered. They will eat your face.
Only a hippopotamus
crush
will
your
do.
entire head in their mouth. Stampede all over town.
More people die by hippopotamus death than any other animal on the planet.
They're very mean.
They're bastards.
But they're so cute.
Oh yeah, they're dude.
You just say that when they're eating your
You
head.
just want to pinch their cheeks while your head is in their mouth. Let me out of here, Hippo. That's why you pinch their cheeks.
It is like hungry, hungry hippos. Only I am the ball.
Okay, so fucking clowns burst out of this thing. There's a guy with a chain gun. I guess he's like a, what do they call those monkey guys?
Organ grinder. He's got an organ grinder that's a Gatling gun.
Right.
And
This guy is somebody too, and I just cannot place my finger on where he's been.
That's
everything.
But he's always kind of like a side or a bit actor in a lot of movies.
I believe his name is Michael Chiavelli. I believe
Vincent Chiavelli.
Close. I like him.
Yeah, no, he's cool. He's like a Sid Haig type character.
Yeah, he's in a lot of. He's the tall, weird looking guy in all of the movies that he's in.
Yeah.
They also have like Dia de los Muertes motorcycle rider guys.
Right, dude, those guys are cool.
With bobbling eyes.
Yep.
And then
Because the one thing you really want to do when you're riding around on a motorcycle is wear a big fat plastic mask.
That you can't see out of.
Yeah, that the wind is going to slightly shift the eye holes so that you become blinded and just start driving over people.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're expendable. I mean, the Penguin is not good with his guys. He blows up his guys a lot. Like when these guys explode out of the Christmas package, I think like 4 or 5 of his own men die. Like they're just flung against buildings and shit.
So that one that hit the Christmas tree did not make it.
No, he's not getting back up.
He was impaled.
When they explain it to everybody, like they're in there and they're like, okay, so it explodes and we all shoot out. You're like, no, Pete, you're the one who explodes. And you shoot them out. Oh, okay. Wait, that doesn't sound nice.
So I don't get blown to safety? You just get exploded.
You explode.
We might get to safety.
He's going to lose a leg. This guy's going to go into the tree. Somebody does go into the tree hot.
Right.
Knock it over. It's just a bad
It's a bad plan. Right. I guess he doesn't care about these guys or need them, or he's got an endless supply of them because he's also got an endless supply of penguins, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't care because all of their uniforms are fucking dingy dirty, which I think that's a Tim Burton
Yeah, I mean, it's
kind of thing
they're
that he
sewer
always
dwellers as well.
Right, but Tim Burton is so dark, and like all of his characters always wear these dingy colored clothing. It's never bright white. It's always like this gray color. It's kind of his thing.
You're some movies, but
always is a strong word, dude.
I said kind of his thing.
The color palette in the first Batman is very bright.
Yes, and don't forget about Pee-wee's, and also Big Fish is one of the most vibrant movies ever shot. So.
I was thinking more along the lines of Edward Scissorhands and The Corpse's Bride, and
Edward Scissorhands is just pale. It's just a pale movie. It's black and white, basically.
Yeah, but it's that black and white is what I keep coming back to.
Okay. He's got an artistic style, is what you're saying.
Right.
A lot of pastels in Edward Scissorhands to muddy the water further.
Right. Okay. Anyways, so Commissioner Gordon calls in Batman. The only time Commissioner Gordon's in this fucking film is in a car. I guess no. He's all right. Anyway, Commissioner Gordon calls in Batman. Batman pulls up in the Batmobile, and he's specifically added clown fighting tactics into his Batmobile because he's got a stilt guy leg tripper as his first tool that he uses, and then clowns on motorcycle knocker offers. He just drives through these guys.
There's a line of dialogue later that says, I think he's running like the Red Clown Gang or something, right?
Right.
So there's this for all the table setting this movie does and all the backstory bullshit that we don't need to see, he's been fighting this, according to one line of dialogue, he's been fighting these guys for a while now.
Yeah, he's prepped.
So it's like, I'd rather watch this part, and the Penguin just showed up, and he either is or isn't a Penguin, and I won't have to think about that.
Exactly.
I kind of want to watch Batman fight. Wait, I'm getting to watch Batman fight. What, it's over already?
Yeah, exactly. It's seriously over. He just fucks up the guys with the Batmobile, and then that's the end of it. It's pretty funny, though. He, burns this one guy with his rocket car.
Yeah. I laughed a lot during this fight scene. Especially when, Michelle Pfeiffer, she's under attack, right?
Yep, by Branscombe Richmond.
Yes, Branscombe Richmond has shown up again.
Yep, on the show once more.
Yep, and...
Our second most repeat actor.
He gets knocked out, right,
Mm-hmm.
from a chunk of the wall, and she grabs his taser and tases him. I thought, this is funny.
Jackie, the one person. So Shrek, they're there to kidnap Max Shrek for unknown reasons, to take him back to, I guess, Penguin World.
Yeah.
Because the Penguin's not there this whole time. He's just his boys.
It's like a perfectly orchestrated plan where they pretend like they're kidnapping him, and then he kidnaps himself by trying to get away.
He just kind of fucking wanders off.
Yeah.
He wanders into the fucking sewer.
Right. Where are you going, Max? Your building is right there.
Yeah.
Like you just came out of it to do this tree lighting. Go back up to your penthouse.
Yeah, don't you have like a panic room?
Or just the penthouse with an elevator code that you can't use unless you know. Or guys inside, you're like a bad guy, right? You got guys inside there.
Guys.
I don't know. He goes into the sewer, though.
Nope.
And gets trapped by the penguin. Pretty good moves.
And then this is when we first see the star of the show in my eyes.
Right.
The poodle.
Yeah.
The poodle is now part of the show. It looks like it's a hand muff warmer, with the little Bo Peep character.
Yeah.
But then its head pops up, and you know that dog's name is Tiny.
Uh-huh.
And that it gets an egg every morning for breakfast. And, you don't mess with that dog.
Would you like to know the dog's actual name?
Yes.
It's Darla.
Tiny's better.
That's the actor.
Darla!
The actor's name is Darla. I don't know what the dog's name. Probably doesn't have a dog.
Poodle.
Yeah, Poodle.
And the lady is like Poodle Lady.
Poodle Lady.
She doesn't even get a name.
Yeah. I bet you Darla's not with us anymore. God rest her soul. But anyways, so he's there. He's like, hey.
Dance.
Yeah. He's like, hey, Shrek, now that I've kidnapped you, I'm going to make this diatribe, like over-the-top performance to like intimidate you or whatever. So I guess Shrek is like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. Well, I guess he's blackmailing him, but whatever. Selena comes home. She lives by herself. She doesn't have a boyfriend. She makes that abundantly clear. Annoys the hell out of us. Her mother's calling constantly. Oh, leave me alone, Mom. Yes, I know I'm a huge piece of shit and a disappointment, but whatever. But she has to go back to the office. She left herself a voicemail. Sonia, Winston. She left herself a answering machine message. I said voicemail.
They didn't have that.
No, they didn't have that. Answering machines. She's got to go back to the office to pick up the Bruce Wayne file. She goes back in there and is digging around, but I guess this file is in like a secret location where she's not supposed to have access to because Max Shrek comes in and he's like, how'd you find that?
Well, I went on your computer, and I guess your password was the name of your chihuahuas that's stuffed on top of your file cabinet. Then I did some poking around, and I found out that you're trying to steal all the power. But I'm not going to tell anybody.
Right. I'm going to tell you because what she does is she's like, yeah, I found this out, so now I've got a good idea. I've got a good idea on how you could do that. And he's like, you're an idiot. And pushes her out the window.
He doesn't, none of this scene, from the start of her talking to herself in the apartment to the end of this scene where he pushes her out the window, I'm having a hard time linking the dialogue to the movie. Like, I don't know what they're saying, why they're saying it. Doesn't make any sense, and all of a sudden she's out a window.
Imagine if you're a 12-year-old Sam. What? Like, this is so inexplicable.
Where my heart is starting to palpitate because I'm like really worried that there's not going to be any Batman in this movie.
Right. There's just going to be weird dialogue of business conspiracies that go on and on and on so we can introduce Catwoman eventually, I guess.
Yeah, because up to this point, we've only seen Batman for maybe 2 minutes.
Right. And we're quite a ways into this movie, believe it or not. There's a lot of dialogue and exposition that's happened already. But anyways, the other thing that I want to remark on is his fucking office. Like, this is Max Shrek's office. This isn't her office. As it should be her office, but then why is Max Shrek's stuffed chihuahua up on top of one of the filing cabinets? It's his office, and she's on his computer, and his office basically is just the storage room.
It is. It's got a little tiny window. It doesn't make any sense.
And then filing cabinets everywhere. It's a small room to begin with. Like, this guy is the head of a major corporation? Huh?
Yeah.
Nice set work, guys.
It's like that Robin draft day that has the little Cleveland Brown helmets sparkled around everywhere. We need 3 more of those Browns helmets in there.
This is what it's like, right, guys? You buy it. Anyways, so she's dead. Or is she? I think she's dead.
So, oh God, I actually wrote this as a question because is she dead? Right?
She falls. Okay, she falls through some awnings.
There's a lot of awnings.
A lot of awnings.
She seems to be moving around when she hits the ground.
Does she, Jackie?
Yeah.
Did you see movement?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see movement.
I think she's dead, and that her pet cat follows her to work every day, brings himself a sandwich, and watches over her.
Okay, all right.
With the other neighbor cats. And he shares his sandwich with these other cats. So the other cats are like, yeah, she's pretty cool.
Hundreds of alley cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's pals with them.
Yeah, there's an alley cat convention, just happens to be around the corner, that her cat is attending.
Okay.
And the cat's like, look, I'm not going to get any more free milk or sandwiches unless you fuckers help me bring this one back to life. And so they're like, all right, fine, we're going to get some sandwiches. Let's do this.
Wait, we're cats and you want us to bring a lady back to life?
Yes.
Okay, I guess that lines up.
Yeah.
Because they do. Either she's dead and she's a zombie woman reanimated by cats, or she's not dead after falling. I don't know. It's pretty up there. It's like 60 stories. Which would imply that she was already a cat lady and she used one of her 9 lives.
The 2 notes there is she dead? Is she undead? You get eaten by cats and you become undead?
These cats don't just lick her face or like have their essence flow into her in any way
have
like
a
that.
Cat orgy on top of her?
They pretty much would have a cat orgy on her body. But they bite her. They eat her. And then she comes back to life while it's happening.
Yeah.
This is very confusing and dubious.
And then the next note I wrote is, these origins take for fucking ever. Because it's puzzling, but at the same time you're like, fuck, there's no Batman in this movie.
Hey, what's up with Batman? What's he doing?
This is Batman. And then you get to see Batman, he's like in a chair.
Yeah.
He's either being Bruce Wayne in a chair, or when he's Batman, he's in a chair.
Pretty
he's
much.
not even Batmaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she comes back home. She fucks up her place. She's pissed off as all hell, I guess, or just psychotic, or I don't know what her character motivation is at this point.
To fuck up her apartment.
Right, because now she's edgy because she's dead. Zombie woman.
She had a neon sign in her bedroom that said hello there. She bashed it out and it says, hell here now.
Right. Which I understand that she's had a traumatic experience. Being reanimated by cats.
You can do that?
Yeah. It's in the medical journals. So maybe she's had a little bit of a nervous breakdown, but it conflicts with what her character is. Why is she? I guess she hated her previous life, and so she's
smashing it.
Yeah, like now I'm Catwoman. I was a pussy before, but now I'm a pussy cat.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
fucking know.
There's a wide shot where she yells out the window about being Catwoman.
Yeah.
And then what would have really happened is somebody would have been like, shut up! Keep it down! Keep it down! I'm trying to beat my wife!
Yeah, she also sews her costume together, too, because she just had all that stuff laying around, whatever.
The costume is inconsistent at best.
Right, it is. So the next day, the mayor's giving a speech out on the front steps of the city hall, and this dude comes out of nowhere and kidnaps his baby. Like the fucking...
You don't bring your baby to...
Lindbergh baby.
Fucking press conferences.
No, you really don't.
You don't bring your baby outside in the middle of the winter to just hang out.
No.
He's done both of these things.
Right.
And
then,
I'm just saying, your wife is too old to have that baby. So that baby is a stolen baby.
It's a stolen baby. He got that baby from fucking
Tennessee.
From fucking Tennessee or Joan Crawford.
And then the baby gets stolen again.
Right.
So it's like a twice baked potato. Only it's a twice stolen baby.
It looks at the camera and goes, "It's a living."
Oh. At least I'm not a penguin. Wait, penguins have bills, not sharp teeth. This movie doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so this acrobat guy jumps into the sewer and hands the baby over to the penguin, all while saying, "Oh, Mr. Penguin, please don't hurt me. Here's the baby."
Yeah. This guy that did it is the guy that was the fish man in Academy Award Best Picture.
Oh,
Life of Water?
Yeah,
Life of
The
Water.
Life of Water. The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water. Sorry.
Yeah. He's
Really?
And Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was the Thin Man too that we just watched.
Slenderman?
Slender Man, there you go.
Get the fuck right out of
No,
town.
getting the fuck out of town. That's the guy. That's him.
All right, weird. Anyways, so the Penguin's now a hero. He elevator lifts out of the fucking sewer. I don't know how you had that contraption.
The fucking it's a duck
Yeah.
and it has a scissor lift, a V8. It's a boat.
Right.
It's a car.
Yep.
It's an elevator.
And a penguin.
It doesn't fly.
It does not.
That's it, though.
Despite the fact it's got wings. Anyways, so he's like, here you go, Mr. Mayor. Here's your baby back. I'm a fucking superhero. And the mayor's like, well, we should put you on the cover of fucking Time magazine for doing that, buddy.
Time magazine's like, we're more than a city specific magazine. Fuck off.
So he asks the city of Gotham and the mayor and everybody to help him find his parents. And which means that he can go into the Hall of Records by himself.
Sure.
That's what this whole ploy has been about. His diabolical plan was so he could go into the Hall of Records by himself and find his parents who are dead.
Sure.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Well, it is, because can you tell me what else is going on here?
I'm going to skip ahead way to the end, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because it sort of has to be addressed. What he's doing is he's figuring out the firstborn child of every family in Gotham.
And he's writing down their names.
For what purpose?
To steal them at the end.
Yeah, to steal the babies.
That's not the plot of the movie.
That's what happens at the end.
It's what
Yep.
happens at the end, but that's because of a reaction to something.
No, he had those lists.
Like future prep, like just in case I ever get super mad
No.
one day.
This is his whole plan the entire time.
To do what with them?
I don't know, but let's just think about this. He would be in there for like 12 years
Right.
trying to tabulate this list.
It doesn't
Gotham
make
is New York, right? That's going to take forever.
Well, that and his diabolical plan is to steal the firstborn out of every family and drown them
Yeah.
in the sewer.
In the Penguin Palace.
Yeah.
There's not enough room.
What's step 2?
Pat
Pat yourself on the back.
That's step 3.
Be happy about it.
I don't fucking. The motivation doesn't fucking work. Anyways, he comes out on TV and he's like, I forget my parents, and now he's the talk of the town. He's a news sensation.
Right, because he is Oswald Copperton.
Cobblepot.
Cobblepot.
Yeah. Okay. Later, Catwoman makes her debut. There's a mugger in an alley, and she shows up, says some sassy stuff, flips around, and then claws him in the face, and he doesn't seem to be too concerned about it.
No.
I mean, his expression as his face is coming apart is like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
I guess I'm dead now.
Yeah, right. And then she's like, Jackie, you want to take her line?
Don't depend on a man to save you. You're just waiting for the Batman, but I'm the Catwoman.
No, you blew it.
Nope, it's Hear Me Roar.
I'm Catwoman, hear me roar.
Helen Reddy.
I was getting to that.
Oh.
You did the first
okay.
part really well. I didn't even remember that part. Anyways, so she's out there. I guess the whole town knows about her now because she clawed a guy. But Bruce Wayne meets up with Shrek in his office, Max Shrek, Chris Walkan, and he's like, no, I'm not going to work with you. You're a total dick, and you've teamed up with crime boss the Penguin.
Sure.
I'm sorry, who are you talking about?
Well, it goes a little more subtle than that. He's like, I got reason to believe that. But before he's like, yeah, you're trying to build a power plant we don't need. I'm out. Bah.
Okay, well, cool. Thanks for stopping by, Bruce. If you change your mind, call my secretary. Maybe we could always go golfing or something like that, Bruce. And Bruce is like,
I can't go golfing with you. You're Mozart. Your hair doesn't make any sense.
that little squiggy guy that you've been hanging out with on TV. Well, he's a fucking crime boss of the Red Clown Crime Syndicate. And I don't have any proof yet, but I'm gonna get it. What the fuck are you talking about, Bruce?
No idea.
Like, his bat sense just started tingling. Like, what would cause it? Nothing has transpired on screen that would cause him to go, hey, that Penguin guy, I think he's the boss of the crime syndicate of clowns.
No,
Well,
he's been investigating it.
No, he's been beating up the clown crime guys. That's it. Investigating.
Well, that's that line of dialogue I was talking about. That's what they should have been focused on rather than the lady talking to herself and getting eaten by cats for 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And let's call it like it is, gentlemen. Batman judges people on their appearance.
Yes, he does.
He's like, that guy is ugly as fuck.
He's clearly
up to no good.
Yeah, he's clearly a villain.
Started making trouble in my neighborhood.
Well, she comes in, Selena Kyle, and he judges her by her appearance too, because he instantly is like Batman.
He needs a trapper keeper.
Yes, he does. He is enamored is a gentle word for this scene.
Yeah, that's why businessmen have whiskey in briefcases. Anti-boner material.
She comes in all confidence, and Shrek is like, wait, I thought I killed you. And she's like, not so true, Buster. And then Bruce Wayne's like, I love you. Let's fly to Paris together. She's like, maybe sometime.
And so she's like,
big guy.
Hey, you forgot your jacket. And he grabs his briefcase because he was already holding his jacket. So somebody doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Shrek is like, all right, you fruits, get out of here. I'm going to go visit the penguin. Wake him up in his new mansion. I guess he took over his parents' mansion. Is that where he's living at now?
I thought he lived at the top of an office building. Like, here's a shack.
Yeah.
An undeveloped floor in the office building.
Right. It's a very weird set.
Yeah, it's like an attic on top of an office building.
Right. He's like, come on downstairs. I got something to show you. Some big news. And here's a fishy for you. You want this fishy?
Yeah, that was like really weird. Like, why does he have to bribe him down the stairs with a fish?
Because he likes fish.
And this is where...
He's a penguin man.
In the history of Burton, like right now, he's super infatuated with strange juxtaposition.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like he loves this scene more than probably, like, I'm just assuming this, right?
Yeah,
but like,
right, because you're an asshole.
It's
because he judges people by their looks.
Well, no, but he's eating a fish. And then you have this like squeaky clean campaign room, and it just doesn't work together, right? It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And that's what he was in. He was like, he never got Beetlejuice 2 made because he wanted it to be sort of this new German art juxtaposed against surfing. And it was going to be a beach party Beetlejuice 2, right? Sure. Didn't get made because it was going to be all shit like this.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Shrek's like, so while you were sleeping, I moved in an entire fucking floor of people, office equipment, fax machines, Xerox came in. There's like 6 IT guys running wires everywhere. But you're going to be the new mayor, and this is your campaign headquarters now, your basement. How about that? And Cobblepot's like,
plow, I'm eating fish.
It's December. The elections were last month.
Don't worry about it. I've got it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Don't worry about it. I've got a plan.
That's not it.
Oh, okay.
No, stop. Right now. Don't do that.
They're going to basically pull a season 7 of American Horror Story, which Jackie and I just got done watching, where the campaign plan is to fuck up the town and everybody has no choice but to blame it on the mayor and have him recalled so that they can have an instant election, a runoff or whatever, a special election.
And run again.
Yeah, and run again.
Schwaz?
Oh, yeah, right.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that.
It would have been better if they
this
just would
is
have
like
killed
Enron, the movie. Fuck. Did they watch this?
And it would have just been better if they would have just killed the mayor.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit more diabolical. Frame Batman for it or something. I don't know, but...
Yeah, like when they stole the baby, the mayor could have had an accident.
Right.
You know what I think they should do right here? Start having a fucking Batman movie. Because they're not doing that at all. I'm like, oh, God, he's in love with this shit because of how beautifully it's done. Like, I know that I'm in for at least 27 more minutes of this at some point.
It'd be nice to get to see Batman.
Not Batman.
So he's like, gets introduced to his campaign manager and his publicist, which is Jan Hooks. Nice to see you, Jan.
Oh, more of her.
Yeah, right.
Not enough of the right things in this thing.
Yeah, he bites his campaign manager's nose off.
Yeah.
And then basically eyeball rapes Jan Hooks.
Uh-huh.
So cool stuff. And everybody's like, you're the guy.
The guy.
All right.
No.
There's a lot of campaign floors that are like this.
No, I guess I can think of one. One in particular. So his minions go out. They unleash mayhem that night. They start blowing up the towns, exploding department stores, breaking into places, just being general hooligans, as it were, to the citizens of Gotham.
Crime with no end.
Right,
Like,
right.
there's no purpose to it.
Yeah.
Just like, what are you doing? We're just
Fucking shit up.
sowing the seeds of chaos.
Yep.
Okay, how are you going to pay for all this shit? Maybe you should rob something before you blow it up, and then you can at least pay for some of your chaos sowing material.
Well, that would take forethought.
I mean, considering we are a crime syndicate.
They're not a crime syndicate.
Well, Batman said we were.
It's some fucking asshole who wants to run for mayor.
Yeah, no, it's stupid.
Yeah, this is not the Penguin.
Well, guess who shows up? Batman.
And we did pause this movie at this point, right?
Yep, I wrote it down.
What do you got, Sam?
54 minutes.
I don't think Batman has shown up by the rules of you, Sam, because the on-screen time here of Batman beating these guys up is just the same as the first time we saw him. He's on screen for about 2 minutes.
He's giving us 2 more minutes of Batman to stave us over while we get more of whatever neo-surreal bullshit he's about to fucking try to jam down our throats for the next 45 fucking minutes.
Because, well, hey, guess what? Batman's not on the screen anymore because cut to fucking Catwoman in Walmart fucking shit up.
Yeah.
What's she doing there?
Blowing it up.
She is blowing Walmart up. That's it.
Well, she's rolling up Shrek.
Yeah.
A department store.
It's his
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah.
She actually has a reason to
She's
do it.
taking vengeance upon him.
But she doesn't take anything good. Like, dude, steal some jewelry.
Well, she doesn't steal anything. She just blows it up.
She may as well tie his fucking shoelaces together with what this fucking department store actually means to his fortune, right?
Right. Yeah,
He's just going to write it off as a loss.
I was only using that for tax purposes anyways.
Yeah.
I'm into nuclear power plants. So,
Microwave sales, not really doing it.
You know, I wasn't planning on buying that other yacht with nukers.
And you know, my favorite part about this whole thing is that she jams her hand into a door of sorts.
Which
that
behind
has-
the door contains the gasoline supply for not natural gas. Gasoline. They've got a gasoline canister.
Yeah.
It's
just in case they have to do some barbecuing. What?
I don't know.
It's also air gas.
Air gas.
Because it sprays out air that's gas.
Right.
I don't know if it's. I think maybe it just said gas. Did it say gasoline?
It says gas because
that's
it's like
fine.
a prop that's like one of those ye oldie time bags that have the money symbol on the side of it. It's a red gas can, Sam.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be gasoline.
Well, it's implying gasoline.
No, gas,
air gasoline.
No,
I'm going with natural gas.
All right,
It
whatever.
could be any number of gases.
You don't put natural gas into a gas can. Anyways, so she blows it up and comes outside. Batman and Penguin are like, so are you a bad guy? Because I don't really have any proof, but I've got a hunch, a bat hunch, as it were. And Penguin's like, "Meh." And she pulls up and is like, hi, guys, check out these buns. And they're like,
Kinda. And I think there's gonna go back to where I was, going back to a 12-year-old me in the theater going, well, at least I'm gonna get a good look at Michelle Pfeiffer's ass in plastic. Nope.
No. You don't. She's not like, hey,
I know.
audience, look at these buns. She's like, hey, Batman and Penguin, look at these buns. And they are like,
Yeah.
want to go to there.
And so now I'm in the theater at 12 going, well, no Batman, no butt. And I'm getting Domino's later. And I guess Domino's will be good by comparison.
Well, you know, not to mention that this is so, like, just pig. It makes them both, it makes Batman look like a sexist pig, right? Because they're both, like, Googling her, right?
They are Googling her.
And then
Oogling her.
Oogling, thank you.
Googling is
Googling is something totally different.
I didn't have that in 1992.
But then the,
If you want to get a good look at her butt, you will have to Google her.
yep. But then, you know, the penguin is like, dibs.
Yeah, he's like, I saw her first. And Batman's like, well, I guess you kind of did. But no take backs.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I get to tap it first.
Yeah, you get seconds, Batman.
And then Batman's like,
seconds.
Are you a fucking penguin, man? What are you talking about?
Also, are
Do
you
you even
the
have a
leader of a
wiener?
crime syndicate? Is there a crime syndicate? Is this a Christmas movie? What is happening? Am I even in it? I don't know, but let's Google her butt.
Yep.
So
You should Google Michelle Pfeiffer's butt.
Penguin's like, I'm out of here, I guess. He's like, I saw her first, and so he turns his umbrella into a helicopter and flies away. Okay. Batman ends up on top of the building where she's at, and he's like, hey, are you a crime lady? Or can I date you? And she's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to beat you up. And she beats the fuck out of him.
Kind of.
She beats his ass.
She punches him over. She does better than he does, but I'm going to go back to this fight choreography in this movie stinking.
Yeah.
This is like a couple of blows thrown, one falls over, and then there's like, is it sexy again?
Okay.
Well, they're
all of
fighting
what you
underneath
said,
the mistletoe.
all of what you said is correct, Sam. But at the end of the fight scene, he's dangling from a building caused by her kicking his ass. She kicks his ass off a building.
Yeah, but then he kicks her off the building and then saves her. And
He
then
doesn't
kicks
kick her off the building. He throws Kool-Aid at her, and it explodes her across the alleyway onto another building.
Then they hug some, and then you're like, is it sexy? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not sexy.
And then this is the mistletoe, right?
No, that's later.
Oh,
There's a
God.
whole other. They do this whole scene twice.
Yes,
There's
right.
like, and it's going to take 25 more minutes of some other fucking thing that's not Batman. For
I
that
think
to
we're
happen.
already an hour into this podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, oh, God.
Man. Anyways, so she stabs him in the tummy under his armor and like, yeah, I gotcha. And then he punches her off a building and she falls into kitty litter, of course. A dump truck full of kitty litter.
Yeah, they have that.
Is it delivering or disposing?
I want it to be disposing, and I want her to just be like full of little, there's just little turds everywhere.
I will not lie in the cat poop.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, how ironic. Oh, pwah, I've got poop in my mouth. Hey.
What am I, Biff Tannen? So anyways, the next morning, she ends up in Cobblepot's room, and he's like, I'm super horny, because his other motivation is booty. Like, he's sexually repressed.
But it's his sexual charge doesn't, it just like happens halfway through the movie. All of a sudden, it doesn't develop. All of a sudden, he's like, oh yeah, BTW, I got a mean stiffy right now.
Right.
For all the ladies.
Yeah, I want to give you some innuendo talk and imply that I'm going to put things in your butt.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to give her the flipper, the famous flipper.
Yeah, because that's
French flipper, I believe, is what he calls it.
Ooh.
Ooh la la.
Because that's a penguin thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
they're horny scumbags.
They do it. They use their flippers against their penguin vaginas.
It's pretty gross. But she only wants to team up to take down Batman.
Yeah?
What has happened here? His motivation has been thrown out the window because now he's running for mayor, not stealing all the children, as it were.
Sure.
And she is not getting revenge on Max Schreck. She's teaming up with the Penguin to take down Batman because
He knocked her into some shit.
I guess. But
Maybe.
yeah, she beat him up for the first. I mean, like, he just was up on a building, like, hey, can I have your butt? And she's like, you can have this shoe to your face 6 times.
He didn't stop her from blowing up the building, so I don't know why she's mad.
I don't either. I guess she's a bit nutty. Anyways, so then they proceed to jerk each other off for an hour. Like, they just sit on screen and do penguin and cat dialogue. Like, they might as well be going, meow, 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 for fucking ever, because it sucks. I wanted to throw the remote at the TV during this scene.
It was supposed to be sexy, too.
It was gross.
She eats a fucking bird.
Dude,
Oh, that was dumb.
There is nothing fucking sexy about the penguin. And you can't have a sexy scene with the penguin. No. I don't care how good looking Michelle Pfeiffer is and how awesome she looked in that cat suit. Nobody is going to whip out their wiener for that one.
I feel dirty. I'm going to give myself a bath. And then gives herself a fucking cat bath, but she's wearing fucking vinyl.
It's not hot.
It's not hot. It's boner transducing.
Yeah. It would be really interesting to show him the movie Gwendolyn.
Yeah, right.
Like, hey, Tim, I'm going to show you something hot. And he's gonna be like, you need to leave right now. I didn't understand what boners are made of, and now I do, and I'm going to need to be alone until both my hand and my wiener hurt.
So Bruce invites Selena over for dinner so that they can watch the second attempt at lighting the Christmas tree because the first one didn't go so well. And the Penguin's got other plans because he breaks into the Ice Princess's tent.
Sure.
She's got one of those, a trailer.
She's got a tent.
Yeah. And kidnaps her and leaves behind a bloodied batarang that he stole from earlier. His little pooch pal stole.
Tiny, the poodle.
It was remote control.
Yeah.
It has the same graphics as like one of those 90s poker machines.
Like a Tiger Direct, as it were.
Very, very high-tech stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you can program it for different people and where they're at.
Mm-hmm. And they just bonk them in the face, and slow-moving batarang knocks them out.
And if it gets a blackjack, it goes blackjack.
So that night, Bruce and Selena, they skip dinner and go straight to dessert. Meow. Because it's makeout time. And they almost discover each other's secret identities via battle wounds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Battle damage He-Man.
Why does she have what seems to be like a frog wart mess on her arm?
It's an acid burn from the Kool-Aid he threw at her.
Yeah. I didn't know it was acid until this scene.
That it's not just acid, it's exploding acid because it exploded her across an alleyway onto another building.
What if he would have hit her in the face?
It's probably not a good result.
No.
Yeah, because that looked pretty fucking gross.
Yeah, it looks like one of those wolf spider, medical pictures.
Brown recluse.
Yeah, brown recluse, where your arm just turns into a baked potato, basically.
Right, because it eats your flesh.
Yeah, it just opens up. Yeah, it's pretty grody. But they don't realize it quite yet, and the Ice Princess report comes on. The Ice Princess has been kidnapped. Wait, we have one of those? Don't worry about that part. And
they should have gone into the backstory of the Ice Princess, I think.
Yeah, right.
That was an avenue where you could have really not had Batman for 28 more fucking minutes.
We didn't come here for Batman.
See, exactly what I'm saying, right? The pageantry.
Yeah.
We could have seen who the other contestants were.
Uh-huh.
How she was selected.
So they're like, we both gotta go. I don't know why she has to go, but maybe it's because she knows Batman's gonna see this news report and be like, I gotta save the Ice Princess, and so I gotta fuck up Batman's shit. I don't know.
She's seeing the plan go down without her, and she's like, I want in on this. What the fuck?
But it's her plan, isn't it?
No.
Yes.
It is?
And now she's fucking pissed because the Penguin has taken over her plan and moved forward without her.
So she's an idiot? Like, why did I even tape up with the Penguin to take down Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a stupid plan. Yeah, it was. Ugh, okay. So Batman arrives on scene. He locks up his car, choop, choop, and all the armor plating comes out on it. And immediately after he walks away, the Penguin's goons come over, and they're like, oh, yeah? Chirp, chirp. And
they use a dildo to open it.
Yeah, they use a chirp, chirp dildo.
One of the... In the first Batman, the bat armor is one of the coolest things.
Right.
And it's also one of the things that you can do perfectly with just stop motion.
Yeah.
And have it look, you can't do it any better.
Right.
They did this with computers and it looked like shit.
I thought that they painted it.
I couldn't tell if it was
it's animated.
It was
either
animated.
Way. It's not stop motion.
And there's a lot of animated. Whether it was hand animated or what, but it sucks.
It looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. I don't know why you would switch that. You've got the model for it already, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Gary threw that away.
$250,000 was what it cost to store all this stuff from the first Batman to this movie.
Yeah, no, then they've got Gary didn't lose the Batman.
No.
They've got it. Just do the same fucking thing. I don't know. Either way. Or just have like a fucking invisible shield. It's just bullshit your way through it. Like if you're not going to do it right, whatever. Doesn't matter.
And not to mention that this is such a kind of a shitty thing that they put in this movie is that Batman is supposed to be all high tech, right? Have technology way above what the general populace has.
He is the DC's version of Tony Stark, as it were.
Yeah.
Right. But these fucking dildo holding clowns have the same technology and they know how to get into his car and fuck it all up.
They Googled it.
How
to defeat Batman.
They have the plans to the Batmobile on the wall of his upstairs.
Yep.
And it's like, did you get that at the library?
Yeah. Yeah, it's public record.
stole
Is that
that.
patent pending or
Yeah,
what?
I don't fucking know.
Because the only person you can steal that from is Batman. If you can steal that from Batman, you should have just killed him instead. You know who he is now. What is like? That's dumb.
Dr. Evil's son Scott is there like, dude, we should just shoot him.
Yeah, he's like, I got the plans
No,
to the
we're taking the
Batmobile.
plans to the Batmobile from Batman. We've rendered him unconscious. This is all part of the plan. No, just shoot him.
So you know who Batman is? Well, no, I just got lucky. You
No,
didn't
we
look
took
around
the plans
to find
to the Batmobile. What are you not getting about this plan, Scott?
Oh.
All right, so anyways, they're like, they're going to hack into it and stuff and turn it into an A-bomb or whatever.
Which they don't do.
Which they don't do. Bat goes to rescue the Ice Princess, but Catwoman nabs her first because it's part of Catwoman's plan to nab the Ice Princess and then take her out onto the roof, stand her on the edge of the balcony, and let her go. And the Ice Princess is like, I'll just stay here then. On the edge of the balcony.
Yeah, she's like, I'm free now. Why are you about to die then?
Oh, I thought, well, she told me to stay right here.
Yeah, she said, go to the one place where you can fall to your death and hang out.
Yeah, indeed. Which she does. The Penguin pops out and he's got fucking bats that he unleashes.
Got bats.
And she falls to her death. Batman runs over to the side of the ledge, looks down, and everybody's like, Batman pushed her!
And then one guy's like, hey, and Batman won that happened and you jumped off and used your grappling hook to save the person. Why aren't you doing that right now?
Oh, that's what I meant to say. Batman totally didn't do anything to save her!
Yeah, and then one other guy's like, hey, Batman, in the other Batman movie, you did a lot of Batman things. You haven't done any of those Batman things yet. Why aren't you doing some Batman things?
Let's get him!
Let's get
They
him.
form a posse. They get the pitchforks and the torches out, and they storm the fucking castle.
They have every right to.
They are
He's
pissed.
not being Batman.
These villagers have had it.
It's like Batman got he needs knee surgery, so he's just not.
They have
He's
that
not
in-
as Batman
He's
this
got
time
tennis
around.
elbow. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, he's working with a physical therapist, but it's just not healing right. And then every time he goes out to Batman, then, it gets a little worse.
God, it really hurts, and I don't have the greatest insurance, even though I'm super rich.
I don't
but-
even think it's like he's got athlete's foot. And they ran out of Tenactin because the Catwoman blew up the department store.
Right.
I would have saved her, but my feet are really itchy right now.
So he leaves.
No, he doesn't. He does the worst thing that you can do after being framed. He hang gliders around the crowd for a little bit and be like,
It was me.
Yeah, with all these bats that fly out of the
Yeah.
Christmas tree. And, I'm going to say good job to the town of Gotham.
for not shooting him out of the air.
Well, the city of Gotham, I should say, for getting such a nice Christmas tree very quickly after the last one got bombarded.
Right, by men.
Yeah.
By flying projectile
Because that
men.
one didn't survive.
No.
This is a whole new tree now.
Indeed.
no, they just turned it around.
I just want the part that has a hole in the other
The
side.
other side of it still has a guy stuck to it.
So Catwoman, Penguin's like, so we're going to fuck now, right? And she's like, gross. And he's like, you bitch.
Yeah.
Suck umbrella. And he attaches her neck to a helicopter umbrella.
Yeah. That's a real problem for her. She's unable to get out of it, I guess.
I guess.
So it's almost like it's a neck, like a noose or something that is on this umbrella because it's supposed to be strangling her as she goes, but she's holding on to the umbrella pole so that it doesn't, hang her high.
Literally.
And then finally she gets it off.
And she falls through a greenhouse, a glass house, and screams and shatters it. I guess she's lost another life.
And she's got a mega voice, too.
Yeah.
Cat power. She's like the Puma Man. That was one of his powers too, right?
It was
Scream loud?
not.
Okay. He had some other powers like that.
So at this point, some neighbor is out there with a shoe. Shut up, you fucking cat! And throwing shit at her.
You're always interrupting me when I'm beating my wife.
Everywhere we move, there's a cat orgy someplace. All right, so the Batmobile's been hijacked. They've put on a device that takes over the Batmobile and turns it into a remote-control car that the Penguin can sit into a tiny, outside of Kmart version, child's ride.
Yeah.
And
funny.
take over the Batmobile.
Funny stuff. Right? It's funny.
Right?
It's just as funny as the Michelle Pfeiffer sexiness is.
Yeah, right.
So they didn't turn it into a bomb.
Nope, they did not.
They turned it into a remote control car.
They just drive him around so that he can crash into cars.
The streets are filled with parked cars. It's not traffic jams. There's just parked cars in every street, jamming it up with no people in it. And the Batmobile destroys all of those. So it's like, oh my God, the carnage.
Yes, indeed. The violence of this movie.
The violence.
Stanza!
Some of the cars are attached to strings, and they just sort of bobble about in the
Glide-
air.
They
glide
jump out of
into
the way.
buildings.
Yeah, you're like, was that a police car or a wind chime? I'm not really sure what's going on here.
It looks awful. Eventually, he busts through the floor and pulls off the control antenna and sticks it in the front seat, which would imply to me that it's still hacked. I don't know if it's remote, whatever. And then almost runs over an old lady. That's cool. But then he can't fully control the car still.
No.
So
he's going to do... So there's a narrow alleyway.
Right. He's got to go between the buildings.
He's got to go between the buildings. And see, there's a switch, and he keeps flipping it, and nothing's happening. He's like, oh, shit, well, I can't do this thing that will unclear. So instead, I'll just slenderize my car and drive through it. What did the other fucking switch do?
Maybe it's the go gadget wheels where you go have the spring wheels and you drive above the buildings.
Maybe.
See, I was thinking it was going to tilt the car sideways so that it could go through and, it'd be sideways car.
You know what else he
through
could
the alley.
try? He could try the one button that's on all cars. Fucking brakes.
Yeah.
He could try to stop.
Well, you get caught that way.
He's in the Batmobile. He
Sure.
turns around and goes a different direction.
They showed us that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, he pushes the button that turns it into Ace and Gary's penis mobile.
Indeed.
It looks like a dick.
It looks like a dick. It's just the middle of the Batmobile. And he drives away.
He goes through, and then all the cops, of course, crash into it.
Right.
And they're like, Steve, why didn't you stop? And then they get hit by Joe. They're like, Joe, why didn't you stop? And then Gary hits him. Gary, why didn't you stop? Why are we all dead because of no brakes?
I was actually in the first car that crashed. I got out and went and got another car and then slammed it into you guys again.
Hold on, I gotta go get another car. Don't do that. No, shut up. Hold on, I'm almost there.
Well, it's like everybody hit the same bump and everybody had coffee and the lid popped off the coffee and they
Right.
were like, I gotta get the lid. It's going to make a big mess. And they were, not really paying attention to the road. And that's why they all ran into each other.
Indeed.
Hal Needham was on the dispatch. That's what happened.
We got a Smokey on our tail.
Just keep driving, boys. Just keep driving.
All right, so the Penguin's out giving a campaign speech the next day, the mayor's bad, and we're going to take it over. We're going to build the wall. Wait, that's a different movie. Then Batman hacks into his speaker system and plays audio that he recorded where he was being a butthole. I hate the people of Gotham, and I'm going to shit on their faces. So now everybody hates him and starts throwing fruit. They brought fruit.
Right. And he even makes the comment, who keeps fruit at a pep rally?
Good job, Jackie.
Yeah, I know. That was not a very good
Yeah.
line. I could almost be in this movie.
Almost.
According to how well I delivered that.
Sure. You could
But they were trying to make it funny, but it wasn't funny. It was just dude, let's see him get hit with a big thing of lettuce.
that would be funny.
That would be funny.
I would have loved that.
Yes.
And then he just starts mowing them down with machine gun fire.
Right. And then dives into the fucking river and is going back to the suit.
Oh, he dives into a person face first. That's actually
Yeah.
one of the only funny things that happens in this movie is when he
Stage
stage dives. He's like, whoa!
Catch me! Whoa, you're a big guy. No. So then he gets into his rubber ducky and floats down the river, goes back home. Bruce, this night, is going to go to Shrek's Christmas masquerade party where people wear buildings on their heads.
Sure. They do a lot of things. But first we're greeted with a very familiar scene of Batman sitting in a chair.
Yeah, right. I should go to this party.
Maybe you should be Batman.
Yeah, right. In the masquerade ball, Selena's also there. They're the only two people that aren't wearing masks. Or are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of them aren't masks. They're just like
Buildings on people's
buildings
heads.
on people's heads. It's a helmet party. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think that there's going to be one of those Eyes Wide Shut events at the end of this party? Like, does everybody just start smothering themselves in chocolate syrup and then fuck?
No.
Like Caligula
I
type?
think about
No.
8:30, somebody goes, who else ate the fish? Because I don't think it's good. And then the bathroom's full.
Right. The mother of all burritos. Okay, so then dance around for a little while. He repeats a line that she said earlier in the movie that only Catwoman would know, or Batman would know. So now they know each other's secret identity.
And then they say something stupid, like, do we have to fight now? It's like, well, the whole time you're like, are we going to fight or fuck? And then when you're not Batman, you're like, well, we should screw. So it's like, go with the 3/4 over the 1/4, stupid.
Wait,
yeah.
Is that like over the bra under the sweater?
Well, in their case, I think it's like under the pleather over the weather.
Nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
Could you imagine if her suit
she
had
had the
Rain X
fish.
on it?
that's dumb. Jackie.
If her suit had Rain X, you just like slide right off.
Yeah, there should have been more scenes of her getting like stuck trying to walk past glass windows or just like sliding around carpeted areas.
And making a ton of noise anytime she moves. No, I meant her pants. You know, they would be loud pants.
Or any time that she walks into a room, someone's like, oh, it smells like sour cream. Someone
I need vents.
Yeah.
Should have vented this. Okay, so right after they discover each other's identities, there's a huge explosion, and I think like 30 people die.
30 people die in this explosion.
Masqueraders. They're not going to have the bang party later now.
Do you know how many little Bruce Waynes are out there now? After this party, my parents were killed at a masquerade ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. You've just made more Batman's Penguin. Because Penguin busts through the floor. And he's like, I came for your firstborn, Max Shrek. When Max Shrek's like, no, take me. You don't want this guy. He's an idiot. And so Penguin's like, okay, come on. Get in the car.
In the car, he's like, Chip is pretty stupid.
So he takes him down the sewer. Operation Steal All the Children is in full swing.
Not really. It's got one guy driving half of a bus. He's getting like 8 people in that
He's
thing.
getting like 8 people, but
Well,
he doesn't
it's a
even do
circus
that.
train with bars, you know, and the
100,000.
The clowns are like getting the kids and putting them in the circuit train as he's driving along the streets. Do you know how long this is going to take?
Forever. There's no way this plan could not work, right?
It's not a good plan.
I mean, we got all the time in the world. It's not like this town has a guy who is a superhero in it.
Are we?
And or a police force that can just block your ass off.
I don't know what their plan is.
Well, it's a good thing there's a backup plan.
Right. So, yeah. So Batman stops the end of stealing the children, or the night of 100 stealing of children.
Right at the front end of things.
Yeah, right at the beginning. I mean, he doesn't even do anything. He just takes that guy. He takes the guy out of the car.
That's why it's such a bad plan, is that it wasn't going to work anyway, and then all you had to do to really foil it was just punch out the driver.
Make sure the car couldn't move.
Yeah.
Great plan. Ugh. So Penguin's down in the sewer. He's giving a Patton-style speech to hundreds of penguins.
Yes.
Again, what's going on at the zoo where there's this many penguins living underneath it?
It kind of seems like this would be like you know how at zoos they have the attraction hour, right? Where you can go when the seals come up, you know, and the seals do little tricks for fish.
Right.
And it seems like one of those areas, but it's in the fucking sewer.
Yeah,
Right.
it's underneath.
Like,
it's
all right, kids, everybody down to the sewer to see Happy the Seal.
It's the place under the zoo where thousands of penguins can be left to their own devices. There's no
Indeed.
other way to describe what this thing is.
Yeah. All right. So he has built an army
Which,
of penguins.
so, going back to the zoo attraction hour, what would this attraction be called? Shitload of penguins. Just like, well, you can't describe it any better. That's a shitload of penguins.
Well, I wonder if they're ever going to raise a man. Probably. That's what penguins do, right?
That's a man right there.
Right,
Those penguins
those
have raised a human.
Penguins don't raise humans, Sam. They rear them.
Ah.
You fucking asshole.
Fucking asshole.
The unintelligent dick.
Yeah, you stupid. All right, so so these penguins, this army of penguins, have rockets attached to their backs.
And little helmets.
And little helmets with laser scopes they flip down over their eyes like, almost there.
Yeah.
Look, you've shut off your targeting computer.
When you see this, you're like, how is it that there's got to be 4 execs on this thing?
Right.
And one of them didn't go, fuck you.
This is a
Fuck
head slap.
you.
Like, even if my dad was not a big movie guy. Like, he liked watching movies, but he kind of was like,
Yeah.
all these movies are pretty good. And he slapped his forehead at this scene. Like, it's idiotic. There's nobody who can look at this and be like, oh, yes, remote-controlled penguins with rockets attached to their backs, and
some of them have
tiny
battle
helmets
vests on.
and battle vests and targeting computers. Yes, I see. Quite campy, Tim Burton, in your dark and violent movie. No, it's stupid.
It's just dumb.
It looks retarded.
And why are they all converging on the middle of town?
Yeah, he sends them out to blow up. He's going to kill 100,000 people with these rocket-powered...
If he sends all of them to the middle of town rather than just letting them go wherever, or maybe just shooting the missiles without penguins attached to them.
How do these penguins know to go to the middle of town?
They're radio-controlled.
How will we ever stop these tiny creatures with rockets attached to their backs?
With a Humvee and a snow shovel on the front?
Yeah, just a fucking snowplow. Just
that's yucky.
You're going to have to clean up the streets.
Well, rocket will blow up, though.
No, it won't.
Maybe.
That's
You
idiotic.
don't know.
And even if it does, we see these explosions later. They're not 100,000 people are going to die type explosions. Maybe like 15.
Well,
it's not a good plan, Penguin. Batman's coming in.
Yeah.
He's built a hovercraft. It's a sewer skimmer.
It's a sewer skimmer.
It is the only place he could use this is inside the sewer tunnel.
He's got everything planned out.
I guess.
The code name for this was the shit minnow.
Yeah. That's dumb.
Shit, man.
No, it does.
You have to put bat on the front of it, Sam.
The bat shit minnow.
There you go. Now
no,
it
that
makes
doesn't make
sense.
any sense because bat shit is valuable. Guano bowls. They're very expensive.
The
Google that.
The guano boat.
Guano boat.
Oh my God. So he's mounting over penguins with rockets. They're coming in. He's got penguin tracking in this thing.
Sure.
That quacks at him as he's like the radar.
There's a lot of things that are supposed to be happening. We're seeing it, but when we see Batman, all we're doing is seeing Batman sit in a chair.
He's sitting in a chair. He is indeed.
And he's not even making faces.
No.
And the one time he does make a face when he has to kind of veer off into the tunnel.
Are those penguins coming at me?
It almost looks like he just let like a nasty ass fart, and,
Right.
and he's trapped in there with it.
Yeah. Oh boy. So he remote hacks the penguins that have gone to the city square and sends them away.
That's supposedly what happens, but I can clearly see on screen that all he does is jam the signal.
Right.
So they would just do whatever they wanted to do at that point,
Then
not
they're
go
just
back anywhere.
unremote controlled penguins.
Yeah, at that point they're just looking around, going, "Hey, how did we get here?"
Why do I have a fucking helmet and a rocket stacked to my back? It doesn't make any sense. I'm a penguin.
Hey, Steve, do I look awesome? No, you look stupid as shit. You're a penguin wearing a rocket. It's a candy cane rocket, too.
Oh.
Well, it's Christmas time.
Yes.
Trying to be festive.
Oh. Ugh. All right, so Batman comes in. He's coming in hot. Penguins people has deserted him. They're all bailed. And he's like, I'm getting out of here, too. I'm getting in my fucking V8 powered rubber ducky suddenly.
Yeah.
And but Batman just launches out of the top of the zoo and crushes the rubber ducky with Penguin in it. So,
Or so you think.
Yeah.
Well, I think he does, because when Penguin shows up, he's not in good shape.
Well, he flies out and he sees the penguins coming at him. He's like, oh no, my guys, they're being remote controlled, and then they unleash hell of rockets at me.
Themselves.
And themselves. They blow up the fucking zoo.
Everywhere. And they're not just, they didn't all get back. So how many people do you think collaterally, we lost some folks outside the zoo, I think. I think he didn't really foil the plan all the way, because these missiles are going off everywhere.
Have you ever shot off an M80, Sam? It doesn't go where you want.
Yeah. Now imagine putting it on a penguin first, right? If you were to, like, an unpredictable rocket now attached to an unpredictable animal.
You know what would happen is these rockets would not detach from the penguin, and then we would just have exploded penguins everywhere. Because they wouldn't get off the ground, right?
Yeah, the cleanup effort is going to be awful.
God, my plan sucks, said the penguin. So then Catwoman's downstairs because Shrek has been put into a giant bird cage, and she's going to kill him. And Batman's like, no, don't kill him. We'll arrest him.
For what? Does he know?
Batman doesn't know anything.
Arrest him for what? Not to mention, Batman burned a guy alive.
He burned he exploded another guy.
He blew a guy up, but this really heavy-hitting, obviously evil guy, no, he needs to see justice.
What's the charge, Batman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking cop. I'm a vigilante. I'm breaking the law. I should get out of here.
Yeah.
Before the cops show up. I'll arrest myself. Okay, so Batman's like, no, don't do it. The only way I can convince you, Selina, is to pull off my mask and show my face to Max Shrek. So now he has to fucking die. Why did he pull his fucking mask off?
I don't know.
Well, and talking about a poor quality mask.
It tears really easy.
Yeah. I thought that thing was supposed to be like bulletproof and shit.
Yeah, it's like styrofoam, face protection.
It's like, I think a baseball helmet would probably protect you better.
I think so. So Shrek's like, hey, Bruce, I guess you're Batman. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to tell all the cops if you arrest me, so don't arrest me.
Yeah.
That would be a dumb move. But Shrek is like, die, hippies, and starts plugging her full of lead.
Yeah.
Shoots
Shoots him.
Yeah, shoots him, sort of. I don't know where he even shot him.
Yeah, in the body armor.
Yeah. Okay.
And not to mention that she's counting off her lives as she's being shot.
Yeah, right. On her approach to kill him in the dumbest manner possible.
Yeah, she's going to electrocute him by utilizing a very high-powered generator.
Right, that happens to be in the Penguin universe.
Has just appeared.
Right. Yeah.
For this scene in the giant penguin and self-contained area where penguins get to do whatever they want, including raising humans.
Right. Yeah.
And then, just for good measure, she's gonna use a taser for the little makeout.
Suck this kiss.
Like the 10,000 volts that's coming from the penguin generator isn't enough to kill him. She needs a taser too.
She was big into blood sugar sex magic.
Well, then she's saying like, I think I'll save one life for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Maybe she's talking about their Catwoman movie the next year. That she thought that was going to happen and never did.
It should have happened.
No, it shouldn't
have.
It
did happen, and it had Halle Berry, and it stunk.
Yeah. It's one of our most hated
Michelle
movies.
Pfeiffer would have done so much better.
So she electrocutes him to a crispy pulp.
Yeah.
And, but Bruce is trying to find her body like, oh, is she okay? He can't find her. Penguin's not dead yet. He comes out, says something ineligible.
Yeah, you can't.
Inaudible. He can't catch the ball downfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, ineligible. Inaudible.
He just gurgles and falls over, basically.
It almost sounded to me like, I don't have ham sandwich.
Right.
Like, I think he's saying ham sandwich, but I can't be 100% sure.
So and then falls over dead. Some penguins come out.
These aren't penguins. These are people in penguin costumes.
They are people in penguin
costumes. These are king penguins.
Everything had been done so well up until this ending sequences.
Oh, yeah. This is what ruined the movie.
Well, no, the penguins with the rockets I'm including into this whole thing. But in terms of the visual element.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, things are really very well done. And you're like, that is people. Those are children in penguin costumes.
Yep, those are people.
Those are not penguins.
And then they come out. They walk on along to the side of Penguin, and
he magically slides down into the water. Like they're pallbearers.
Right.
But they can't grab him to move him, so they're using penguin telekinesis.
Indeed. And he just slides into the water. Now, mind you, the roadmap of this trip into the water started with him coming out of the water.
Yeah.
So he just walked up to this island, said something, fell over, and then they pushed him back into the water.
Yeah, and Batman,
what a journey.
And Batman just watches it, and you're like, so...
I guess that's what would happen in this scenario, said Batman.
Huh. And then that's when you know that you don't get to see a Batman movie at the theater that day.
Yep.
Well, not to mention, what do they do with all these penguins?
Most of them blew up.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Like they're just shipping them off to other zoos.
The other ones will go back to the place where they can do whatever they want. Penguin land underneath
Try to raise another guy.
The zoo's been blown up. I guess their light generator's not there, but they're penguins. They can raise humans. They can do whatever they want.
Later, Alfred's driving Bruce home in the car, and Bruce thinks he sees Catwoman, and he gets out, and he goes into the alleyway, and there's just a cat, a soul cat there. And he's like, I guess you live with me now. Merry Christmas to you, Alfred.
And then the cat sprays Alfred, and Alfred crashes.
Fucking strays. I told you, quit taking in strays.
Pan up to Catwoman howling at the moon. Here we go, guys. That's the end of the movie. We want to get straight to it with the question that's on everybody's mind.
Yes.
Does this movie capture the true spirit of Christmas?
Well, at the end, Bruce Wayne says, goodwill to men.
Merry Christmas to you, Alfred, and goodwill to all men.
To all men.
And
women.
Kind of threw that in there at the end, like, I don't want to be a dick.
And then I believe gives the cat to Alfred. Like, this is your Christmas present.
I didn't give you anything.
Found a cat. Which is the true spirit of Christmas, giving crap to people that they don't want.
They do not want.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think it is a Christmas movie. It is more of a Christmas movie. Like, it's an actual Christmas movie.
Sure.
We're not
more than Die Hard, right?
No, Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's fucking cute when you say that. It's a movie that takes place during Christmas. It doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
So does Lethal Weapon, though, right? It does.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so like in issue 1, I don't think it encapsulates the true meaning of Christmas or the spirit of Christmas at all. But in 2, is it more Christmassy than Die Hard? I say yes, and it's just trying to be a Christmas movie the entire time.
Let's see here. What are some thematic elements? Batman puts aside his role as vengeance against the underworld and finds love. Finds that love is the only thing that can bring people together during the Christmas season. I think that's pretty
Christmassy?
Pretty Christmassy
the
right there.
whole Christmassy thing of this is somebody dying in order to turn on the Christmas tree the second time.
She did turn it on with her dead body.
Yeah.
She fell to her death, but still did her job.
2 Christmas trees. People are dying from giant presents.
She died like she lived, lighting up a big Christmas tree.
How about this one for a Christmas theme? Even if you don't like the people in your family, even if they're horrible monsters, you know what? Don't chuck them in the river.
Don't chuck them in the... That is the Christmas spirit.
Yeah,
right?
you have to come together with your family and find a common bond. Otherwise, you're going to create a supervillain who will be raised by penguins.
Yeah.
The other thing that I learned from this movie is from Michelle Pfeiffer's character, right? Every time that shows a close-up of her eyes are red.
Oh, yeah. What's going
so
on
I'm
there?
assuming that if you want to get through the holidays, you smoke a lot of joints.
Yep, the true
and you
spirit
were
of Christmas.
fucking
Sam.
high as shit so that you can deal with your crazy ass relatives that are like, I'm the penguin, I'm Cobblepot, I need to... Oh my god, did you see those penguins marching through the street? Yeah, man, totally did. Merry Christmas.
I am rubber stamping it. This is a Christmas movie. Jackie, where are you at?
I think it's a Christmas movie.
Sam, and you're saying it's not a Christmas movie.
I'm saying it's more of a Christmas movie.
Which is not a Christmas movie. So
well, no,
anything
it doesn't
is.
have the true meaning of Christmas.
Which would make it not a Christmas movie, is what you're saying.
No. It's not a Batman movie.
It's definitely not a Batman.
I'll say that it's a Christmas movie and not a Batman movie. How about
Yep.
Okay. All right. 3. It's a Christmas movie, guys.
if the true meaning of Christmas is to stop being Batman for the whole fucking movie?
Questions?
I think I burned all of them throughout there, but like, do penguins raise people? How many people died from stray rockets during?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
I burned through mine too because what was Mac's crime that Batman wanted to arrest him for? He did some bad things, but Batman knows about none of it.
Yeah, the only thing he actually did illegal the whole time was push her out of the window, and she's the only one that saw that.
Right, and she never tells Bruce Wayne
and
about that.
She's alive and didn't press charges.
Correct.
So now it's like aggravated assault. Yeah, he's gonna fucking walk on that.
Yeah, dude. Good job, Batman. And even like his crime that Batman knows about is he was a guy's campaign manager, and Batman doesn't even know about that. Like,
That's not a crime.
That's not. I mean, that's the closest he could link him to something is he told a guy to run for office.
And then if she's going to murder him for murdering her, that means she's undead.
Correct.
I don't know about this one.
I don't either. My other question was, what's Catwoman's motivation for anything? Because her only motivation should be to revengeify Max Schreck. She goes off on a fucking tangent about Batman and teaming up with Oswald Cobblepot and creating chaos during Christmas time.
Sure.
And then what's fucking Penguin's motivation? But I guess you're telling me that it was to steal all the children.
And then drown them.
To teach everybody a fucking lesson about Christmas.
I'm going to say that one of the things with Catwoman, though, is that I kind of get the sense that she has now gotten self-confidence and she is going to right the wrongs for everything and everyone that ever fucking gave her hell. I think she killed that kid in grade school that brought it up that she didn't have any underwears on.
Maybe.
Because she's like, oh, he's dead now.
He's dead now. That's
so I'm
something
assuming that she's
happened
just
off-screen.
going around. She's got a hit list and she's killing them all.
So
Merry fucking Christmas.
As you stated at the beginning of the episode, is it a woman's empowerment
No.
screenplay?
Well, it's a white guy trying to do that.
Right, exactly.
That's why you let women write their own fucking shit.
There you go. Good
job. They have typewriters too, Tim Burton, you son of a bitch. He didn't even do it. It wasn't him. It was the other guy that wrote Heathers. But
yeah.
Well, and there's nothing empowering for women in that. That woman was about vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to the old saying of there's nothing more dangerous than a woman scorned.
Uh-huh. Which is
that's not woman empowerment. I'm sorry, but it's not.
That's just stereotyping women. Like,
And-
if we let them off the chains, they are gonna fucking fuck our shit up. So let's fucking repress them some more.
Yeah,
cool stuff, guys.
She's a secretary,
Right.
for one.
Oh, she's an executive assistant.
Yeah, secretary. Yeah, there's nothing empowering in this movie for women. And just because Bruce Wayne ends it with, and for women too.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
So now they're part of it. Yeah, they're cool like us too, I guess.
because he's a white guy trying to save him.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it sucks.
no.
Final recommendations, kids. I want to wrap this shit up. I am gonna go with yes. If you have not seen Batman Returns, you must see Batman Returns. It is required viewing. Was it enjoyable? It's an achievement in bad movie watching. Like, well, I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. Listen to our podcast. Go watch it, or watch it, then listen to our podcast, and then go watch it again, because this 7.0 user rating shit is fucking insanity.
No.
This movie at best is meh. If you're watching it in an unironic way, it's a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's not very exciting. There's not any goddamn Batman in it, and like all this stuff that you're like, oh well, it's campy but dark and violent, and it shows this dichotomy between Batman and Penguin, and makes a juxtaposition between these two types of people. It has none of that.
No,
You
it has,
want it
like-
to, but it doesn't.
It has like 8 minutes of some of it.
Yeah, right. So it's a piece of shit. But if you're like looking to be entertained, I would say no. So, but either way, my end result is do. Jackie?
I'm going to give it a do. If you watch how people die in this movie, and you don't take it too seriously about the woman power thing, and you like Michelle Pfeiffer's
They
sexy
didn't
cat
take it
lady.
very seriously, so why would we?
No, if you like Michelle Pfeiffer is sexy, you gotta Google her.
Yeah, right.
No, okay,
It's
whatever.
not sexy, Jackie.
But I say do. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining.
Sam?
I say don't.
Okay.
Because I did it when I hated it at the theater when it came out, and I didn't like it again.
Yeah.
It's only a do in the context if you want to compare, and I'm going to compare it to the next two, because I wholeheartedly think it's actually worse than the Schumacher ones, because the Schumacher ones are stupid.
Yeah, right.
Is that the ones with the Robin?
Yes.
With
and
bat
Alicia
nipples.
Silverstone?
Bat nibbles, yep.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Those are really stupid. This is really stupid and really boring.
Yeah.
Those ones aren't actually, I mean, we'll see. I'm going to watch the other two, but like, this is stupid and boring. It's the two things that you really shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I really hate this movie.
I can understand you. I can understand where you're coming from, but man, is it a historical piece of shit.
It's one of the most successful piles of garbage ever.
Yeah, indeed. So, That is going to be the wrap on this episode, Jackie. It is going to be your pick next, and I'm assuming you're going to pull the trigger on a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm whittling it down still. I've been watching a lot of the ones that are on Netflix.
Oh, the made-for-TV.
Yeah, and
Christmas.
the Amazon Prime, because I want everybody to have access. And, I'm narrowing it down. I got my top 3. One is about a photographer. One is about a Christmas prince. And the other one is...
What the fuck is a Christmas prince?
Oh, you're going to see.
What the fuck is an ice princess, Sam?
All right, so I'm going to narrow it down. We'll just have to see next week who's the winner.
All right. Enjoy your week, guys. Get to the chopper.
Merry Christmas.
Not yet. Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.